Happy Friday, everyone, and welcome to this long awaited video, the grand backtest of 2020 of the my famous and the one and only the sessions strategy. Okay, so now you already know the strategy, you are using the strategy, you watched the strategy video. I received quite a quite a few messages and people actually sending me the screenshots of their trades, of how they actually applying the strategy, and I'm more than happy to see that everyone is actually using the strategy and applying the strategy rules. Okay, but now you want to gain confidence into the strategy itself. Yeah, you want to know that the strategy works, you want to actually see the results, and the best way to master the strategy is repetition and backtesting. Okay, so the more you the more you trade the strategy, the more confidence you will gain, the more experience you will get, and the more you backtest the strategy from the historical data, the more data you will have, and also this will increase your confidence into the strategy itself, and also will add to the experience, because you will be like, oh, this same setup happened a few months ago on my backtesting, yeah, or whatever. So simply backtesting is super important, and what I did on this video, what I'm about to show you, is the backtest of 5 currency pairs that I chosen, that are some of my favorites, some of my least favorites, and I did a backtest of the whole 2020. Okay, because on my live account, what I did, I simply skipped trading last year, pretty much the whole year, uh, just less than a year. I took a break from trading when the whole COVID started, when the whole scamdemic, the pandemic, all of that nonsense began. I actually stopped trading, and I took my first long break from trading in 6 years, and it was the best time, to be honest. I took some time off, and now when I came back, it just feels like new life. Okay, it's just crazily good. So yeah, so what I did my backtesting to see how my strategy performs when the market conditions are difficult, when it's choppy, when it's like in volatile or sometimes super volatile. I mean, when the conditions are not the greatest, yeah, because let's admit that last year, 2020, it's been incredibly difficult years in a financial markets. Okay, so we had some choppiness around the forex market, stocks as well, indices. The crypto market moved pretty bullishly, which is a good sign, of course, but well, all of the markets been pretty wild. Yeah, so without any more waiting, let's jump into the backtest. Let me show you a lot of charts, a lot of trade setups, losses and losses and take profits, and yeah, just go from here. And now, please um, keep note that I did this backtesting, for example, like EJ, yeah. So let's say you have to assume that on this backtesting, yeah, so when we see the total trades, the total running profit and loss, you have to assume that we always enter into the position with the same amount of money. So I did on all of the pairs 50k as an example. So we have to assume that each position that we entered is with 50k account. Okay, so no more, no less, because it's just easier to calculate things. Okay, also this running PNL is the completely raw PNL, added from 5 different currency pairs, while the strategy itself allows you to have only a maximum of 2 positions per day, 2 open positions per day, which means that at this case, uh, you're seeing this incredibly high number, but that's because of the 5 currency pairs all combined. If you took every single possible trade, okay, so just to just to keep things clear, yeah, that we always enter it with the same amount of money, and we enter it into all of the positions that actually gave us an opportunity, yeah. So to summarize the whole 2020, we had 435 trades, and the total profit that we made was 286.25%. So if we use, for example, our capital, which is, for example, 50k, we can actually say in monetary value that now our account is 143,125 euros. Okay, so we pretty much made, just to be even more clear, we can do this and that. So we made in total 93,000 euros in a complete profit. Okay, looks good. So what we want to do now, we want to go through all of the positions, all of the currency pairs, and let me show you a lot of charts, lots of setups, positions and stuff. Yeah, now also one thing to mention on GBP Japanese yen, that's only a halfway point backtesting. As you can see, I stopped backtesting at June 16th, simply because the market was untradeable. It was so choppy. I just cannot, like, it just was. I clearly saw that this currency pair GJ is not performing at all. If there is some kind of a choppiness in the market, indecision, etc. Yeah, so when you have different and more difficult trading conditions, GJ is not a currency pair to go, at least with my strategy. Okay, so I simply stopped wasting time, my time, and I simply stopped backtesting it. Okay, so this one is pretty much a half year backtest, yeah, but we will go more into that later. So let's begin very simply. Okay, Euro Japanese yen. The, to summarize the whole year, the whole year ended with 83.45% of profit. So that's a pretty high percentage points just from one currency pair. But well, to be honest, EJ is one of my favorite currency pairs to trade, so I knew that the number will be high because I used to trade EJ all the time. So this one is fairly one of my favorite currency pairs. Okay, so if we look a bit more into the analysis side, the win rate is not as high. And to be honest, what I noticed that the win rate on all of the currency pairs are pretty similar. But what's interesting is that during the 2019, my win rate been about 70-75%, and now I'm getting about 60-65% or so, which simply means that yes, the market been way too choppy. We backtesting 2020, which been one of the most difficult years to trade, but it's still pretty decent, and we still been able to generate quite high amounts of profits, even with the win rate being a pretty low. Okay, so that make is just incredibly nice to see, but that's all because of our risk management rules and risk to reward rules that we only trade 2 to 1s. Risk to reward setups always 2 to 1s, yeah, as you know from the strategy video. So let's go ahead and let's begin from the very first one, and then we will move into a different ones. I'm not gonna show you all of the setups, okay? And yeah, back at the day, sorry, I decided not to include before and afters because this would take me way more time to actually post all of the photos. So what I did, I believe starting from somewhere here maybe already, I only made, yeah, I only made before photo, sorry, after photo, only that, yeah, because you can see the before in here, and you can see the result also in one trade, a photo, which makes way more sense. So now at this case we had a loss, and let's take a look why. So we had a session high, we had a session low. At this occasion we had a session a low being taken out, we had a comeback, so we're pretty much like a break and retest, and then continuation candlestick, this one below the EMAs, back below the session low, and also below just like a nice bearish candlestick, yeah. So we took a short here. Looking at now, after having a full year backtest on so many currency pairs, back in the day these setups used to work pretty nicely, but now what I'm starting to notice during the 2020 backtest, that when the market is actually dropped already quite a bit, and then you're trying to short after a nice setup, there is like a lower possibility of getting that the take profit than actually waiting or skipping the trade at all. Okay, so at this point we had our entry here. The market was super choppy, as you can see, the beginning of the year, and eventually during the US session the market moved to the upside, okay, which is completely normal. Next one, this one is a take profit, and as you can see, once again we have a session low point right here. When the London session began, we've been waiting for the retest of the session low, and this happened pretty much next candle. So we had one session retest, second one, third and fourth one, but we never got any buying opportunity because none of the candlesticks closed above the EMAs. So at this point, this nice big white candle closed above both of the EMAs with a nice strong bullish body, and we also rejected the session low once again. So this was a very nicely given long opportunity. We took the trade 2 to 1, stop loss just a bit below the session low itself, and take profit 2 to 1 always. So it just simply moved very nicely, very aggressively to the upside, and got our take profit in. So that one was a really great setup. Something else, now here we had a loss, and now I can already see why, to be honest. First of all, the whole Asian session was a pretty bearish session, okay. So when you got the bullish entry on the early minutes of London session, I decided to use this opportunity and to enter the trade. Now the problem with that is, first of all, this candlestick is the very first London candlestick. It showed a retest of the session low, and then the next one showed an immediate bullish push, okay, above the EMAs, a bullish, and pretty much gave us an long opportunity entry, which is okay to take, but well, it's just a bit too early. So you can write this down, or you can just simply remember that if you're gonna get this thing when you actually gonna see within the next first 2 or 3 candlesticks, the setup is given like very early into the London session. Like at this point, we had one candle a rejection retest, and then another one strong entry, like the first 2 candles, and you already having the entry. Well, it's better to wait just a bit more just to get some additional confirmation or something. Yeah, because the setups that are super early into the London session, like the first or the second candlestick, can tend to be manipulative ones. Okay, and this is exactly what happened. The moment we bought, the market showed a reversal and completely pushed lower and took our stop loss with us. Yeah. Okay, 1.5%. Something interesting happened here. Yeah, so what happened here, as you can see, once again, the same thing. Too early. I entered the market too early. Yeah, too early. So at least it actually played out, but as you can see, it was super slow and choppy. Super slow and choppy. So we got the entry from the session low, all good. Now the reason why I closed the position at 1.5% is because, as you can see here, that's the end of the day, which simply means that this is the end of the US session, so pretty much midnight on my time. So if you still have any kind of open positions uh, at the end of the day, you have to close them manually. We never keep the positions running during the night. Yeah, so I closed the position manually, and that was something about 1.5% or so, like 1%, 1.25%, something like this. Okay, so I marked this as that. Another position, a short position. Once again, I would say that that's a bit of a early entry once again. So we had a pretty choppy but kind of bullish session, and then we had a rejection and closed below the session low, and the market simply showed a nice bearish move. What I'm noticing here as well, the session high is not here but it's here. Yeah, as you can see, these 2 candles are still into the session, which means that that's simply my mistake that I took. So always double check, guys. I remember multiple times when you think that the session high or low is here, and then you check twice and you're like, no, that's not here, and you simply change it. Yeah, always double check your session highs and lows. Okay. Okay, what else? What else? So we had quite a few profits at this point. That's like another position. So as you can see, the session high is right here. So we had a break above the session high. So when we got a confirmed break above the session high with a body closure, then we are waiting for the retest. So the retest happened all the way here. So a few hours into the London session, and then we had another bullish candlestick after the retest with it's above the EMAs by 1 pip or so. Yeah, and a strong bullish body closure. So we took the long position and 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio as always, and this one showed a bit of a choppiness um, after the entry, and then eventually coming into the US session it pushed nicely to the upside. Okay, another one, boom, this one is pretty nice, even though once again it's early. It's too early to enter on, but because I've been backtesting, I've been taking as many trades as possible, as many setups as possible, good ones, not as good ones. So this one is not as good, but well, as you can see, two candles on it, and we are in, I mean, very, very aggressive bullish push at the very beginning of London session. Okay, let's take a look at some of the more losses, because stop losses are more important than take profits. At this point, there is nothing you can do. Um, we have the session high, we have a retest, like just like 1 or 2 pips shy. So I still like up to 3 pips or so, 2-3 pips. I I can still say that this is a valid retest, okay? Because the market is not perfect. You won't get super accurate retests every single time, okay? So after the retest, we have a strong bearish body closure below the EMAs. So that gave us a nice short entry, and what happened, the market pushed a tiny bit lower, started to consolidate, and then eventually reversed back to the upside, and we got our stop loss triggered. Some more losses, because that's you have to always reanalyze your losses more than your profits. So the setup, first of all, that was a super choppy and messy thing right here. So what happened, session was broken out downside, come back above with a body, so this was a fake out. Next candle, rejection, no closures above the EMAs, so no entries. This candle, very strong bearish candlestick, so you can classify now this as a potential short entry, but the reason why we're not shorting here, because we are at a lows. We had, as you can see, a very bearish session, very bearish session. So we're not shorting when we got an already super bearish session, because the possibility of a pullback is way higher than a possibility of continuation. Okay, and then we had another fake out at this point, and then this candlestick, even though it left a strong wick, but we closed back above the session low, back above both of the EMAs. And well, if you see candlestick leaving such wicks, most of the times those wicks are being fulfilled or at least retested. Okay, so as you can see here, the whole position, the whole position actually was almost at our take profit, and eventually reversed and pushed extremely downside. So in live trading, you have two options to manage the position. Yeah, so when the market is reached 50% of your target zone, so at this case when the market is at 1% profit, you are able to do two things. One is put your stop loss to break even, and that's it. So basically you was able to go out, get out of this at break even, or you can put your stop loss to break even and take some profits off the table. So pretty much when the position reaches a halfway point, you have to decide what you're gonna do. On my backtesting, what I did, I simply left the majority, like 99% of times, I simply let it run either to take profit or stop loss, unless it's end of the day and you have to close the position manually. Okay, what's next? Let's take a look at something else. A long position here. So right here is a very risky trading, but well, it played out nicely. We almost got out. So as you can see, a session high. At this point, we had a closure above the session high with a body. So it's still like a few pips above, but it's still a body closure, which counts. Then we had a rejection. So no no trades, no enters, no closures below both of the EMAs with a strong bearish body, so no shorts as well. And then eventually the market showed another bullish push back above the session high. So here we had a break above, a bit of a pullback, retest, and then continuation candlestick. So we took a long position right here. We was almost at take profits. Then the market dropped back down, almost took us off, and then boom, all the way to our take profits. Okay, so maybe just one more trade, like random one from EJ. Boom, once again, session high being right here, pushed above during the first hours of London session, pullback, rejection, and then the next candle, a nice bullish candlestick back above the session high, above both of the EMAs, and after the rejection of the session high, we took the long position, nice 2% here. So EJ overall, as you can see, all of the trades are here, and we made 83.45%. Okay, so pretty nice result. Now GJ, this one is just a complete tragic. Yeah, so as you can see, we are at a 53% win rate, so we are almost 50-50 on this thing, which is pretty low in my opinion, especially for my strategy. But also I keep in mind that we always do this thing because we are backtesting 2020, difficult year. Now I have one friend who's using the session strategy, and he is actually making quite a nice gains from GJ. He's able to find the setups. I myself, I just cannot find the setups. If you look at this, look, loss. Oh, what's happening? Loss. So if we look at any of the losses, it's just like that. Yeah, the session low, nice. During the London session, we had a retest, of the session low multiple times, to be honest. Then we got a nice bullish closure above the session low, above the EMAs with a nice bullish body. After the EMA the session been retested, we took a long, boom, it just reversed like another position. Same thing, look, session low right here, a retest of the session low, a nice bullish candlestick above the EMAs with a nice body closure. After the retest, all good, boom, it just reverses. Yeah, if we look at any kind of loss, it's just messy. This one, same thing, look, boom, we had a session break, some retest back above, continuation. So we got above the session high, we came back above the session low, we closed above the EMAs with a nice bullish body. We took the trade, the market started to push higher, boom, just melted. Yeah, so it is just one big mess. Of course, we got some take profits as well, as you can see. Like at this case, it was pretty nice setup. Also, like something else in terms of take profits. This one, once again, so very choppy session, break, retest, continuation. We took the trade. We spent like few hours in a box, and then boom, just few candles and we off. But the whole market is like this, super choppy, very messy. So that's why I stopped wasting my time and backtesting when I see that the market is just not on point. So within the 6 months, pretty much, we made a 22.75%. Okay, and this monthly number, don't look at it at this point, because it's just simply my profit divided by 12 because of the whole year. So at this formula I can do it like 6. so that's like 4% monthly, especially for this GJ thing. Yeah, for GA we took the whole year, so it's all good. So GA, for example, we made 50%, also very low win rate. Pound pairs was bad, was bad for me, I'm telling you. GBP Japanese yen, GBP AUD, even though I pretty like them, but I mean they've been some bad currency pairs. Yeah, I just wasn't able to find my rhythm of the strategy at these pairs. While for example Euro AUD was pretty nice, 65% win rate, and Aussie dollar 73% win rate, 63% in total, which is also really good. So Euro AUD and AUD USD been pretty nice for me. So let's look at GBP AUD, like a few positions as well. Boom, very nice clean setups. Session high right here, early. Okay, so it was like a 2 pips shy, which I still classify as a valid retest, and then a bearish body closure below the EMAs after the session high being retested. We took the trade, boom, nice take profit. Okay, something else, boom, session high retested, closed above, then a fake out, boom, strong bearish candlestick, closed below the EMAs, nice strong bearish body. After the session high rejection, we took the short, boom, pretty spiky, choppy, but well, it got the job done. If we look at some of the losses as well, boom, as you can see, very similar to GJ. We got a very nice long setup, but the moment we enter it into a long position, boom, the market reverses, and this happens multiple times, and it's all good, because what matters eventually, in the end, what matters is the end result, and the end result, as you can see, is an incredibly high percentage of profits. So basically now at this point we had a session high as well, multiple retest, then we got a confirmed break above. So now we was waiting for a retest and continuation. Retest happened, but no continuation candlestick. We simply closed back below the session high and below the EMAs. It's not the nicest candlestick, to be honest, to enter the short position, but well, I took it, and we got just a bit of a movement, and then boom, back above. All good. It happened. Sometimes it happens. Here we had some losses, streak, same as on GJ. As you can see, very nice long setup. You buy, boom, reverses. So yeah, I mean, it happens multiple times, and you have to know that it's all good. The confidence is still here because you are still making an incredible amount of money, or like percentages, yeah, depending on your capital. Even when you're getting like 5 or 6 losses in a row, it's normal, it's all good. Here, same thing again, as you can see. We tried to breach below, we came back up, nice bullish closure above the EMAs after the whole fake out thing, a bullish closure. So we took the long, we started to push higher, then boom, 2 candles, we're off. It also happens, and it's completely normal, as they said, because eventually the end result is super nice. Here also very nice setup, session high, retest, and boom, bearishness below the EMAs, nice strong bearish body after the session have been rejected. So we took the short, just a bit of a drop, come back, and boom, a complete strong meltdown straight into our take profit zone, which is also very nice. What else can we look at? Boom, this one, once again, pretty nice session low. First hours into the London session, boom, rejection, retest and rejection, and then next candle, strong bullish continuation, above the EMAs, nice bullish body, and after the session being rejected, we took a long, boom, straight to the take profit area. Very nice position. What's good in here? Once again, very nice setup, session high, multiple tries to push higher. So this was a, you may actually think that this was a nice long entry because you had a break, a comeback, and a continuation. But look at the Asian session, we have lots of spikes, bullish spikes, lots of bullishness happening, very active volatile bullish session. So I would avoid buying after a wild bullish whole session. Yeah, so as you know, if the whole Asian session been super bearish, you don't want to short the market during the London session, or vice versa. If the Asian session been super bullish, you not want, you simply don't want to buy the market as well. Yeah, so at this point you can clearly see that the market is choppy, and any kind of buying opportunities, even if it's like, okay, that's buying entry, you shouldn't take if you don't feel it, or if you had like clearly visible very bullish and active session, the Asian session. Yeah, so at this point I waited, and this was an okay short entry, but I just, for any reason, I decided to skip it because we had some choppiness box range, and then once again one retest, rejection, boom. That's a bit of a stronger statement, nice bearish body below the EMAs, below the session high, and like a strong bearish body. So we got boom, and pretty much straight away we melted into the take profit region, which was very nice. So one more loss maybe on GA. Yeah, once again pretty early entry, but we was very close to a take profit. So well, in real live trading account this would be the break-even trade, but because that's a back testing and I took as many trades as possible, well, I waited for the whole stop loss thing to happen, but well, you was able to go out of this one with a break-even trade, or maybe even with some profits still. Okay, so GA, now Euro AUD, 67% in total, 65% win rate. It's much nicer to look at. Okay, so we can take a look at some of the positions as well. There are way more take profits than they actually on the pound pairs. So the session low, a nice retest and straight away bullish continuation, no entry whatsoever just yet. Then the next candle pretty choppy, and the next one another continuation. So I took the trade, even though this retest is not very perfect because that's the very first London candle, but well, I took it because I'm back testing. So yeah, and it went nicely to the upside. Now right here we had some loss, stop loss once again. So yeah, I mean, as you can see, the market below the session low was pretty choppy, then came all the way back above the session low, back above it with a nice bullish body, bullish candlestick above the EMAs. So we took a long position, the market started to push higher, and then continuation to the downside, and we got our stop loss hit. All good. That is a break-even trade. Let's take a look at what happened here. Yeah, so end of the day, end of US session, and we are pretty much at a break-even point. So I marked this as a 0% trade. Here we was super close super close. Maybe even some brokers would close the position at this point because we was like 2 or 3 pips shy. So maybe, but well, here we still was in, so I left it as it is. So end of the day, we are at pretty much break even, just a tiny profit. So I marked this trade as a break even trade. Some more positions, boom, session low, retested, break, comeback. So that's a fake out, boom, bullish body above the EMAs, above the session low, and above, and a nice strong bullish candlestick. We took the long. It took a while, to be honest, to go all the way in, but well, it happened eventually. Very nice. 2% made here. Another one, boom, session low, multiple tries to reject, to break below. So we had a break, comeback, continuation. At this point, we are not shorting the market because we had a strongly bearish Asian session. So just a bit more patience, and then boom, nice comeback. So all of this was a fake out, and we got a comeback back above the session low, also above the EMAs, and a strong, nice bullish body. We took the long, a few hours in, boom, straight to the profits. Nice position. We had 0.25% right here, so let's take a look at what happened. Yeah, end of the day, very choppy market, very choppy market. So we closed it manually with 0.25, like approximately profits. Yeah, next trade, a loss, and that's what I mean. I simply said, okay, let's try that. Let's try to short the market when the whole session been a pretty bearish one. So as you can see, we peaked at a highs mid Asian session, and then we was dropping, and here we got a break, retest, continuation, nice short setup. I wouldn't actually go to this trade myself, but I just said, okay, let's see. So we took the trade, and boom, we got out and this candlestick is now suggesting a long position for us, but because we are already into the US session, we are not taking the trade because we are looking for trades only up to the very first US candlestick. Okay, so when the US session opens, we stop trading, and if we don't have any positions, we are not looking for one. If we have one, we manage it till the end of the day or till a take profit or stop loss is hit. Something else, boom, that's a very nice position. Yeah, so we had a session high, we have a breakout, now we're waiting for a retest. A retest kind of happened here, but well, it's not necessarily super nice retest. We want to see some kind of a bearish candlestick, some retest, like real retest, not just one candlestick left the wick and then push higher, and then boom, next candlestick, strong bearish statement back below the session high, below the EMA, strong bearish body. We took a short, boom, we melted. Very nice position. Something else. Yep, session low, London, retest, like two pips shy. You should classify this as a retest, and this candle left a nice wick after the retest, so nice long position. If not this one, then this one is also valid. This one right here, also after the retest above the EMAs, nice bullish body closure. Yeah, so all good. We took a long, boom, we was almost at our take profit here, then we got a comeback, and then boom, continuation. So Euro Aussie, also a pretty nice currency pair to trade, and Aussie dollar, 63% in total, 73% win rate, That thing is the beast. Look at this straight. 2, okay, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12% in a row. Like a very nice, strong streak of take profits. And as you can see, it's just nice. We had a bullish breakout above the session high, so we was waiting for a retest. The retest happened. Now we need continuation. No continuation candle. Boom, we back below the session high, below the EMA. Nice bearish body. Short. Boom, take profit. Very nice. Another position. Another one. Boom, same thing. Pretty bearish session, then bullish comeback. Then we had a break above the session high, a comeback, bearish retest, and then continuation. Boom, long. Boom, take profit. I mean, very nice setups. Very nice setups for me. Here, once again, session high, retest, rejection, continuation candle. Below the EMAs, after the retest, a nice bearish body. Short. Messiness, boom. Some losses on Aussie dollar. It also happened. Yeah, like here for example, we reached. I mean, this would be like in real life, this would be like a break-even trade, but well, that's a backtesting. So we had a bullish closure above, retest, continuation candle. We took a long. We pushed pretty much halfway there, and then boom, a complete reversal. It also happens. Next one. Let's see what's up here. Well, it also happens, as you can see, very bearish session. So I was glad to take this long opportunity, and then the market was messy, and boom, chopped straight downside and got our stop loss hit. Okay, something else. Okay, that's also a pretty nice one, as you can see. So right here we had a body closure above, fake out, messy, and boom, continuation. Bullish above the session high after the session breakout here, and retest, boom, continuation. Also above the EMAs, and a nice strong bullish candle. Long, boom, straight profits. Something else, maybe something else, just like a few more trades, and I think I showed you enough of the positions. We already at 48 minutes of this video, so it's pretty long one. Here same thing, session high, retest, fake out, continuation. Nice setup. Short, messy, and then boom, all the way straight to the take profit region. One more loss, maybe this one. Let's take a look at. Yep, so session low, boom, retest, continuation. Very nice long setup. We took the trade. It was pretty choppy and messy, and eventually it reversed. So this whole thing was a nice box of nothingness, emptiness. Yeah, it's pretty much box. And let me show you a last position, like for example this one. Yeah, once again, session low, mid London session, we had a break, a fake out, and continuation candlestick above the EMAs, bullish candle after the retest of the session low, long, messy, and then boom, all the way to the take profit. So as you can see, guys, that's my full back testing. All of the trades are here. That we took, and I logged everything, and I will continuously gonna backtest 2021 now with you on camera to show you what's up. But well, now we complete the cycle, so we have the strategy video ready. People are watching it, using the strategy, starting to understand the strategy, and starting to make profits. And now this video is part 2 of the strategy to give you confidence to show you a trade setups, to show you the results, what's possible during this 2020. So keep in mind that these results are purely raw, so we added all of the trades, same amount of money, like all of the nice stuff. But keep in mind that you would have possibly lower numbers because you wouldn't be trading 5 currency pairs every single day and every single position. So this is what I mean. But well, these numbers are pretty nice. So the average win rate of all of the 5 currency pairs been 60%, which is a pretty decent win rate, and we got almost 300%. But well, if I have to choose my 2 pairs, this would be EJ and Aussie dollar or Euro AUD. So we would be looking at something about 150%, yeah, so 83 and 67 or like 63 or so, yeah, so which is still incredibly nice because you are pretty much doubling the account every single year. And also we keep in mind that this number would be way higher if we would compound the capital. So let's say you start with 50k and then you leave the money in all the time, so the lot sizes would grow with each trade as well, so you would be making even more money in terms of percentages and of course money itself. But because we are backtesting to avoid calculations and stuff, we just assume that we took the trades with same amount of money every single time, and we took all of the opportunities as well. So guys, as you can see, the results are pretty nice. Now what I want to go ahead and mention that you should do the same thing. Go ahead and do the backtesting of 2020, 2019, 2021. Work your homework. Okay, just do the homework. Focus on backtesting, and backtesting, yeah. And of course, next to your backtesting, do the live trading, of course, yeah. Maybe some demo trading, maybe live trading with small capital first. Just get used to the strategy, and then when you gonna like spend hours on your backtesting, when the real account comes, when the live trading begins, you will look at the chart, you will see, okay, like right away your eye will be trained to see the setups, and you will be like, okay, now that's no, that's possibly, that's yes. I mean, you will see the charts like easily. Okay, so guys, that's the backtesting. As you can see, I showed you a lot of trades, and yeah, it's just a nice video to have, just to bring some more confidence into the whole strategy itself. So thank you for watching. Hopefully you're gonna enjoy it. And now rewatch the strategy video if you need, rewatch the backtesting video if you need. Go ahead and do some good stuff by yourself, and eventually you will see that trading becomes boring because you simply cracked the code. Okay, so thank you, wishing you all the best for the weekend, and I will see you guys on the next videos.